Hey guys, welcome back. Today's a bit of a longer video. Today we're going to be working on black gel coat, specifically a cobalt. We're going to take it through all of its steps. Wait for it. Guys, summer's finally here, so I'm inside in the shade, protected, loving life. I got a nasty old cobalt. And up here where the cover covered up, from here up, and then it kind of left a spot, and it was covered from here down, I decided to just use some Super Duty rubbing compound. And to figure out why, or to understand why, here's what the black looks like on the outside. So you can imagine this thing was pretty knackered up, but with a little bit of Super Duty heavy cut and perfect it, we're able to get this out of it, which looks really good. So when you're using Super Duty and you think there's no possible way you can get it to look good, you're right. For the most part, there's no possible way you can get it to look good. It's going to have swirls, it's going to have some marks and stuff in it. But when I'm doing this, I look at the reflection and I'm trying to make sure that the reflection of the area that was covered looks the same as the area that wasn't covered. At that point, go ahead and switch to your heavy cut. And I'll do that next. You can see what this looks like after that pass. So now as the heavy cut has been used, you can see there's a decent overall general reflection. It all looks the same. So the very next step is to hit this with perfected EXAC. However, Cobalt, in their genius, and it's not it's bad and good. It's a double-edged sword. They've riveted their snaps in, so you can't take them out. Which means if you look really close, you can see there's a little bit of dullness. Focus. There's a little bit of dullness around the snaps. The wool pad has a really hard time getting around those. I'm just trying to move that reflection around it so you can see it. Same thing here. So I'm going to use a foam pad, which you guys have probably seen before. And with the foam pad, I can get right up in there. So let me grab some perfected EXAC, and we'll do that next. And then this weird kind of haze that you see. So there's a reflection, and then off to the side over here, there's a little bit of just a hologram of the light. Same thing on the other side. With the perfected EXAC, hopefully we'll get rid of all that. I'll be right back. Now, using the perfected EXAC 36060 and a really grayed up pad from all these snaps, hopefully the reflection's a little bit better. Let's see if I can catch that. There we go. A little bit cleaner. And then if we look down the side, again, we're looking for uniform reflection on the parts that were covered as well as the parts that weren't. And if I have that, then it's pretty decent. Now the next step is going to be to clean this, wax it, and hopefully it looks pretty good. The foam pad allows me to get right around these snaps with a little bit more accuracy, so that's why I use it. And with a little bit of wax, you should be able to see the individual LEDs flashing off. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. And if I focus on that snap, not individual, but you can see all the pores in the gel coat. Anyway. So this is a cobalt that came in a couple of days ago, and we're just kind of getting started on it today. And by getting started, I mean we've kind of done the top side, more on the top side than we've done the hull. But here is a great section of the hull that, I mean, if you've detailed cobalts ever, you know what this is all about. You know how gross it is, how hard it is to get out. I'm going to try to show you what we do when we see something like this to save some time. So, first step, whenever you see nasty oxidation in any boat, is to test it. So, put a little oil on it, and I watch to see how quick it kind of gets absorbed and sucked in. Down here, it almost instantly got absorbed. Up here, it's still there. The border is kind of getting sucked up right now. So it's telling me that the boat's dry. But when you have a cobalt, in particular an older cobalt, and you see this level of oxidation, you know you got to grind hard. Now some of you are going to want a wet sand, which is fine. Go ahead. Just know that it's not the only way. This is basically wet sand. It's gritty and it's wet. Uh-oh. And you can tell I'm getting ready to pull off some double-sided sticky tape where the emblems used to be. Unfortunately, this owner wants them replaced, so yay. On the top side, we're having a little bit of success with Super Duty Heavy Cut, followed by Perfectant on a foam pad. That's to get rid of some of the scratches that we leave behind with the Super Duty and the Heavy Cut. But I assure you, out in the sun, this looks really, really good. That being said, we've kind of gotten lazy, or at least we've saved the worst for last. And the worst is, actually, I'll tell you what, there's two worsts. One, if you're going to put your registration stickers on and you're going to stack them up like you're, I don't know, 5 collecting stickers, at least try to make them match so you don't have all this weird, come on, that's just gross. Anyway, the worst is this oxidation. It's a black boat, or at least it's supposed to be. And if you know cobalts, they have an additive that they put in their gel coat that makes it a little bit harder, so it's a little bit more glass-like than plastic-like. When you see this, you can either get into wet sanding, which I don't have a problem with. If you're a good wet sander, go ahead and wet sand. But as a detailer who has to get this done in less than a day, I'm going to use another version of wet sand, and that is Super Duty. It's wet, and it's gritty, because sand. So Super Duty on this, I'm just going to go probably the top to here. I'm not going to worry about the white and the bottom for this demonstration. I'm even going to pull out these little scuffs here with the Super Duty. I'm not going to hit them with acetone or lacquer thinner or anything else, just Super Duty. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get into that. To start with, I use a double-sided wool pad. Now, 3M pads, while expensive and sometimes a little bit wobbly, are the most aggressive cutting pads that I have found out of all of the wool pads I've ever used. So I use them. I don't get sponsored by 3M. I also use their Quick Connect. Still, I'm not sponsored, but it seems like it does save a little bit of time when you're doing this all day. If you're not doing it all day, just get a spindle nut, double-sided pad. You can flip it over, spin it back on. You're not going to lose a lot of time. So for this, I'm going to use a ton of Super Duty. All right? And I'll try my best not to cover what I'm doing with my back. I'll leave a little section so that you can see the difference. I'm just going to spread this out, make sure to cover everything that I can. Now, once I've got this spread out, there are some chemicals in here that help break down gel coat and soften it up a little bit. I don't, however, want it to dry, but I work it while it's wet. So, I work my edges first. This is an edge, this is an edge. I'll show you how that goes. And for all you people out there that think that I'm not effectively taking off any gel coat or any oxidation, this black color might dissuade you from that way of thinking. I assure you, there's a little bit of pressure used here. I'm doing a little bit of a cross cut, going back and forth, focusing only on this and this edge. That's all I care about. The fact that it cuts this a little bit, that's an added bonus, but it's not why I'm doing it. I'm only focused right here and right here. All right, so my next edge is down here. Now, for bottom edges, I work it a little bit different. I basically find a position that I like where I'm getting a good amount of cut or an aggressive polish pass, and I try to lock my body position and the buffer position so that I can just mimic that the entire way through, and it looks a little something like this. So if you're seeing some color, there actually is a reflection there just from Super Duty. And again, a little bit of boat comes off. We're getting through the oxidation, revealing generally some fairly clean, unoxidized gel coat. I'm sure there's still oxidation in there. Don't worry. We got 2 more passes to go through. For the middle, I like to do what I call cross-cutting. Cross-cutting is literally just that. There's patterns going like this. Now there's patterns going like this. It's crossing. Okay? Now, you might notice I didn't go all the way down to the bottom, nor did I go all the way to the top. Why? Because I've already hit those. So if you guys have a problem getting your finishes perfectly smooth without any swirls, but up here and down here you get some little holograms and some artifacts, I don't. There's a reason for it. Now, here I went up and down. You can also go side to side. All right, now once I've done that fairly aggressively, whew, look at that. I know, it's redundant. Now I go flat. And in this case, just to save some time, not much, but some time, I'm going to speed up a little bit. And put a little bit of pressure on the boat. Not much. And now much less pressure. Now, if you're seeing a reflection, it's because there's a reflection. Super Duty can actually leave a reflection. And before I fluff up the rest of the pad, there's a little bit of gel coat in there. So the aggressive cutting, the going flat, it all takes off a little bit of oxidation. You could stop right here, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to keep going so that I can show you maybe, fingers crossed, that this can actually finish almost swirl free with Super Duty. I should also add, because this stuff's bad for you, you should be wearing eye protection, ear protection, mouth and lung protection. And if you're wondering why I only use 3M products, it's because they're consistent. And no, they don't sponsor me. I'm not supported by 3M at all. I do occasionally give them a call and talk to some people, let them know what I think and what questions I might have. But I don't use their products for anything other than the fact that they're consistent. And when you're doing maybe 20 boats a month, you kind of want some consistency. What do you think? You can almost read my watch just from that reflection. Coming from this, guys. Huh? All right, so the next step, yuck. The next step is a little bit of heavy cut. And I'll show you what that looks like. Get you a little bit closer. How's that? Actually, I'll show it from this side this time, if you don't mind. And I'll get you a little bit closer still. All right, sorry about the shakiness. It's just the nature of the camera being on a tripod. So I'm going to flip my pad over. I might even clean it out, spur out the Super Duty side. Hey, Herbert.
Oh, hey.
Hey, this is Super Duty.
Wow, that's Super Duty.
Not bad, yeah?
Golly, that looks very good.
Okay. And the Oscar nomination goes to
Herbert.
Herbert.
You're being such a good
And
at
the beat. All right. So now it's time for 3M's Heavy Cut. This is also just going to go in the pad. And you might be surprised to find out I'm going to do the exact same things that we did with Super Duty with the Heavy Cut. And then a slow walk down on the bottom. And then some cross cutting. For the record, much less boat came off, but still, a little bit came off. And I should be able to see what time it shows on my watch. And this is from Heavy Cut. We got one more step to go, and that's Perfected EXAC. Alright, so I've cleaned out the pad, took a little spur and just ran it across there. It's just a fluffy, soft. And we're going to use, focus, some 3M's Perfected EXAC 36060. Same basic stuff. A little bit goes directly on the pad and spread it out. I'm going to turn the light on. Ta-da. All right. Now at least you can see what it looks like once it starts to finish up. Bottom section. And some cross cutting. Well, let's see what this looks like.
I don't know.
You all right?
Yeah, I think so.
You talking to a crow?
Talking to myself.
I guess. Your spirit animal. So you can wet sand this, I suppose, if you want to. Which, again, I don't have a problem if you want to wet sand it. You're just not going to get me to do it because I got other things to do. There you go. Ta-da! Put a little wax on that. Should look great. And this is a big fluorescent light, so it's not going to look as good as it would maybe out in direct sunlight. But I'll tell you what. I'll have Herbert, maybe, if he's willing. Are you okay? Are you still talking to your crow, or
I'm fine.
you good? You want to do this little section right here?
What am I doing?
Just like 7-8 inches. Just blend this to what one of the test spots.
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay. If you haven't remembered, there's Herbert, fresh haircut and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I would start with the Super Duty first. And Herbert's just going to blend in this little spot between the test section we did over here with, I think, just heavy cut and what we just did here. My guess is he's going to start with, yeah, Super Duty. Oh, he's going to put it right on the boat, guys. He's crazy. Get it, Herbert. Get it, Herbert. Oh, now I'm doing it. Well, if he's not going to give you commentary, I'll give you a little bit. So if you notice, Herbert did his crosscut and then did the slow walk on the bottom. I don't think it really matters as long as you get those things taken care of. You definitely want to do the slow walk. You definitely want to do a crosscut. You definitely want to hit that top edge. As long as he does them all before his final pass, that's all that's really important. Ooh, I see a shine. It's weird because I've seen people use Super Duty in a garage, even with lights, and they're not able to get anything that even looks as good as this middle section, which looks like maybe you missed. I thought we were going to blend them. Doing the whole boat.
We are.
Okay, I'm standing back.
Wasn't the thing here?
Yeah, the thing was there, but I mean, we're blending, yeah? Well, we're giving a finished boat hole, not just demonstrations. So,
Shoot, I thought I went over your side.
it's okay.
Well, this is what happens.
We'll just wait until Nathan shows up. I'll let him do it next time. Actually, that could just be the unwiped smegma of Super Duty. Let's see. Does that clean it up? No, it's still there. Oxidation.
Oh,
Right in the
man.
middle. In fact, here, I'll just show you. If you don't... so you can see a clear line right about there. Where over here, got hit, and then missed, then got hit. So, yeah, we got to get a little bit more in there. It's hard to see on black, especially at an angle. And if we didn't have a light there, you might just think, oh, he got everything. So it's a good thing that
We double check our work.
Yep. Overachiever.
Gotta get that smooth transition.
I honestly don't know how you're doing what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay.
I
I'm
just
sure.
know
I'm
that-
sure it'll look all right when you're done.
Oh yeah. What Lee
It
doesn't
usually
know
does.
is that I usually don't know what I'm doing, but I know how to get it done right.
There you go.
Smooth to the touch.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. Smooth as the touch. Wasn't it smooth on the oxidized side too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just not as smooth as mine. My smooth.
Is it? No, it's not. Come over here. Stand right here. Look down. And I'm gonna try to wipe it off. You won't see a change. You see it?
Yeah.
The gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you look at that?
So when you're doing heavy cut, you'll take that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what the heavy cuts for.
All right.
Totally.
If we see it when he's done, we're totally gonna blow him up. Is that you?
That's my phone.
You want to get that? I can pause it.
Down.
So real quick, before you wipe this off, Herbert, your Quick Connect has a difference to it than anyone else's Quick Connect.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you show us that and tell us why?
This one right here
Louder.
has
What'd you use? Plastic dip. yeah?
Plastic dip. Or plastic dip or whatever. This stuff is really good, honestly. Once you hit those metal pieces, no dents, no nothing. It's all rubber protected.
So you did that specifically so when you're doing like
Cleats.
towers on bars and on boats,
Yep.
tow towers and stuff, that you don't scuff them and scratch them.
Cleats, rails, mostly anything you usually don't get. So it's really nice to have. It's a
Nice.
special edition.
Yeah, that might
And
hurt.
it's hot, so don't do that.
Dear Friction, thanks for the introduction. All right. All right, I'm not going to lie to you guys. We saw some stuff in this Gelcoat that we didn't quite like, and it's no problem. It happens all the time. Sometimes you see stuff you don't see when you're standing right in front of it. Step back, put a bright light on it. So Herbert's redoing the section that he just did, just to get rid of a tiny little section about the size of a baseball. But to do it and make sure that he feels good about it, he decided to do the entire thing because OCD. And you can't really fault a detailer who goes above and beyond when he sees something. So kudos.
If it's still there, well, I'll look for a different job.
No, we'll keep you. We'll just put you on cars.
Oh, thank God. Thank you. Thank you. Great opportunity. God, Lee, I hope you pause it because you're so mean. No, just kidding.
No, I'm always mean. They know that.
Nah. It's still there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Here.
No. It's just
I'll
a
do it.
wipe.
I'll
It's
do
just
it.
a wipe.
You sure?
Yeah. See what? Just don't look at it. Just don't look at it.
Okay.
It's totally fine. Yeah. It's not there anymore. It's still there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
You want to see it before I do it?
Stupid.
You still see it, yeah?
Senor, can you move the line? There you go. Yeah, you totally hit it, Lee.
Okay.
Stupid man.
What's up?
Lee here is going to teach us how to remove a stubborn line. Yeah.
It's small.
Oh,
There it is. Got it.
right there, right there. $10, you can't take it out. Just saying. Well, this is obviously hokey pokey, so.
Okay. So now we just need to perfect that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nathan. He owns the shop. He's the big boss man, El Jefe. So I'm going to have him. You saw how I did it, my technique, my process. And then you saw how Herbert did it, and then did it again, and then did it again, and then he... Anyway, Nathan has a whole different way to do this. He's been doing cars for a long, long time. You'll see some different, I don't know what you call it, moves, or just the way he does things. It's not wrong. There's no wrong way to do this. So,
I do the moonwalk as I'm doing it.
all right, that would be kind of legit, actually. All right, so he's going to take Perfected EXAC. He spurred out his pad, and he's going to do his thing, and we're just going to sit back and watch and secretly judge. All right, so he's putting it right on the pad, just like I did, unlike what Herbert did. Total car guy move. Look at that. Look at that. No, I wanted him to do the whole. I even told him we do a couple spots. You just go ahead and. Absolutely. I'm honestly glad you got camera shot.
Really? Or do you think I'm saying weird?
They love you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. This is another final thing. That's different. You get to see.
I didn't know that.
I can see myself.
It's just camera. Without looking at the fucking wall.
One last time. I hear you guys talking trash.
No. Not as far as you can tell.
Here you go. Here you go.
Don't worry, they're not gonna hear us out.
Brand new,
So
clean
it's
one.
weird.
Now I'm gonna turn up the audio gain. They hear every word.
Yeah. Well, I guess I lost $10 from earlier. So yeah.
You lost $10.
Yeah, I lost
Why?
$10. I said, I bet $10 Lee can't get the little scratch. I couldn't get. Kenny got it, so. Painful.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it's done. Now you take a cleaner, clean this off, throw a little wax on it, use a random orbital polisher, soft foam pad, and that's going to look as black as night. Nice, excellent color, lots of detail. Nice job. I mean, for being the boss and all.
Herbert did all of it.
In another section, I want to point out there are some pretty deep scratches in this hole. You might not be able to see them in 2 dimensions, but trust me, they're there. There's also quite a bit of rub marks, just some transfers from, I don't know, hitting something made of plastic. I'm going to get those out without using acetone or lacquer thinner or anything like that. So I will set you up right about here. Turn the camera up a little bit. And maybe to the right, just a smidge. How's that? Isn't that good? Okay, so I got my spur. I've already cleaned out the pad. We got a light. Just going to do the same things I did before without very much of the commentary. So here we go. I'm using quite a bit of Super Duty, as you can see. And I'll be blending in what we worked on before to this section here. Way too fast. Yikes. I'm getting a little bit of hop. In one of the last videos I showed you that to remove the hop changes the speed, changes the frequency. Here's another way I sometimes get rid of it. I just change the way I hold the buffer. Okay, so I've cleaned it up. You can actually see all the little scratches right in there. So now the trick's gonna be get those out. And I'll show you how I do that. Fingers crossed. Oh. Switching to the clean side, grab a little heavy cut, which, oh my gosh, conveniently,
Herbert has.
luckily he has 2 bottles.
One for you, one for me.
What do you want to say?
You know what? I'm gonna use it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's right. You can have it.
And then right where these little scratches are, I'm gonna do a little extra work up on a fairly aggressive edge. And then just regular cross cuts. The scratches are right here. There's some that are still there, much less pronounced. The next step is a little perfected EXAC. My job now is to blend everything from here over to here. So that's what I'll do. Okay, I got a little perfected EXAC on the pad. And because we kind of crossed over into the second section that we did, I'm going to go ahead and cover that a little bit. So this is going to be a big section. Okay, here we go. And yeah, that's my buffer making a little bit of noise. But she was made in 2017, and if you put your girl through as much work as I put mine through, you just kind of forgive a little bit of noise and lip. I do. She's still putting out good work, and I wouldn't give her up for a brand new one right now if you offered me one. By the way, DeWalt, it's pretty much time for you to offer me like a pallet full, don't you think? last final step. I know, it looks a little swirly, but my guess is these will all wipe off. Not bad.
Wow, Lee.
You're an old guy.
Even you surprise yourself. I would have done better. Given time, obviously.
It all looks good. It all looks good.
Let's be honest, not everyone can do a good job. I can't do it.
Yeah, you can. You've done amazing jobs.
You just gotta have patience. I just wanted to hear that I could do a good job. Of course I could do it. I work here.
So that, from that, it's possible. You don't have to wet sand. And I promise you, if you put a wax on this after you clean it, that finish is going to last for at least a year. And if you keep maintaining your boat and put a new wax on it before it starts to fade, you can probably keep this going for years, plural. All right? All right, get out of our face. We got work to do.
Get out of our face. We got work to do, guys. Come on. Peace out.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you'd like, give a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Tell a friend. Seriously. Tell 3M. Tell DeWalt. Put me on Facebook. Do all that stuff. But mostly, thanks for having fun with us.